Very warm welcome. It's Gene from Avstar. Good evening. I just wanted to bring out a fact that was incorrectly reported by the press secretary of the White House. She said that Elon Musk was the richest man in the world. And it's absolutely not the case, because in comparison, this guy owns 20 times more than Elon Musk. He truly is a trillionaire. And, I know you can't hear the audio on this video, but you can see from his properties, from his yachts, he simply is in another class. But why would the press secretary say that Elon Musk was the best? Why would she say that Donald Trump was the best? And the reason why I'm really doing this video is because a little later, after you've seen a little bit more of this lavish lifestyle that this prince, this Saudi prince, Salman, has, is just nothing in the same comparison to Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not the richest guy in the world, and if you look into his actual finances, you will find that most of it is just not belonging to him. He doesn't own it. He's he's borrowed it, so it's in the pipeline. It could at one day be belonging to him, but let's face it, he nearly went bankrupt before he even managed to put one of the Teslas off the production line. But I'm not here to bash Elon Musk, because I do in some ways like him. I don't like everything about him, and the same with Donald Trump. But let's call it as it is. Donald Trump is not a superhero when it comes down to negotiating deals. He's not, and he's had a very tarnished background as well. And I just feel that what is going to come from the next 4 years of having Trump in presidency is going to be nothing different to the last 4 years of having Biden or Obama or the Clintons, whoever. Because where there's money, there's corruption, and every organised corrupt gang or mafia has always realised the best place to start is always at the taxpayer's pocket. So there will be nothing that changes in the near future unless we change it. So you can see that this guy is terribly filthy rich. He can have all these art pieces of work. I mean, you've just seen that one of Jesus Christ, which was, I believe, in the hundreds of billions of pounds. And he's got many of those around his homes, his palaces, his yachts. He's brought 2 of these super yachts. I mean, look at this palace here. This guy is immensely rich. But my point is this, is that the secretary, the press secretary of the White House, believes that Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. It's like, trying to over-promote your own team when, people have access to the internet and they can quite easily work out that it's not the case. There is already the first trillionaire on this planet, and it is the Saudi Prince Salman. So, why would she say that? Why would she say that they are being clear in everything they discuss, clear in everything they find, when obviously not stating truths about even simple facts like Elon Musk being the richest guy in the world? Why would they do that? It's because they want you to believe in their team. President Trump had apparently just over 70 million votes to get him into power. And, when I think about that, I think, well, hang on, America has sorry, 300 million, over 300 million people. What happened to the 270 million people that didn't vote for him, or weren't confident in whether they voted or not would make a difference? Think about these things. You know what? Every time we get set up for the next robbery in our lives, no matter which country we live in, it's always the same. It's like, you know, Keir Starmer making his manifestos and then just totally going against them all because there's no legal binding. He won't go to jail if he breaks his manifestos. He knows it. He can get away with it. It's like how he lied to the British public about the Safeport murderer that killed those 3 little girls, that set this country up in uproar because it was released that, you know, this person was linked to Al-Qaeda and you know, had materials in his house which showed he was trying to build ricin. He was linked to Al-Qaeda, and you know, he was a terrorist. But he said, Keir Starmer, that this was a gentleman from Wales who had nothing to do with any of this stuff. You know, this is the world that we're living in. And it's wrong. It really is. You know, we deserve better. All of us do. And we can make it better for each of us. We just need to, you know, realise that we're being swindled when we're being swindled. If the press secretary is going to come out and tell us that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, when clearly we can see a guy who's a trillionaire, who is much richer, and most of his wealth is not based on, you know, borrowed money, then we know the truth clearly. But what I wanted to show you is, you know, the nonsense that is coming out of the White House. We're going to annex Canada. We're going to annex Greenland. We're going to take back the Cuban Canal, or the Panama Canal, sorry. We're going to, you know, we're going to take over Gaza Strip. This is all hype, which is meant to make you feel better, when what is coming is totally 180 degrees from that. You are going to be worse off. And I'm letting you know ahead of time, before it happens, what is coming. It will be the same nonsense as what we've seen before. And it won't be enough. And it won't be soon enough. So, you know, this world is moving rapidly into an era of social unrest. It's going to get much worse, guys. I just want to, before I end, I just wanted to do something I don't usually do, is that talk about some of the comments that I've had on my previous video a few hours ago. So almost every country has taken advantage of American money. America first, and it's about time. Yeah, but you know what I've got to say to that comment is that it wasn't us that was stealing it out your pocket, it was you that was handing it out. So don't blame the lap dancer. You know, I had that conversation there, you know, you can read it. They don't need people anymore. And it's true, with all the artificial intelligence that's come about now, it's not needed. Become self-sovereign, make what is important possible. Many things important are totally unnecessary. prioritise. You know, that's a nice thing to say, and I agree as well with that. You know, the more you don't rely on others, you know, I think the stronger you'll be. You know, because when people let you down, you know, that you've relied on, you know, you are let down at that point. But if you've only got yourself to let down, you know what, when you're about to be let down, and you might be able to make a contingency plan for that. Gene, I'm not head over heels with Trump, Trump fan. However, I did vote for him 3 times. Well, you didn't vote for him once, you voted for him 3 times, but we won't say nothing more about that. The way you explain Trump's plans, I think you may need to do more research. We voted for Trump and voted for what he's doing. Okay. What I'm going to say just there is you're happy now to pay 25% more than what you was, on top of the 30% inflation that you've already got. Now you've got another 25% tariffs that are coming back on you, because if you think that other countries aren't going to increase their tariffs when you do, we will. Canada already did that. So do we love everything? No, but he sure is how a man who keeps his, let's get the rest of this word. Okay, well, let's see if he does. Already, you know, to just rebut that, he said he was going to end the Ukraine war within 24 hours, and he hasn't done that, has he? He's now been in power 3 weeks, so, you know, that's an overstatement. A lot of his executive orders are being totally destroyed by the courts. So a lot of the things that he said he's going to do, he probably isn't going to be able to. Someone did point out an important thing to me the other day, and I never thought about it that way. The reason why he changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is because the Biden, apparently, administration had put into effective order that there would be no more drilling of oil in the Gulf of Mexico. So if the Gulf of Mexico was changed to the Gulf of America, then of course the drilling could continue. I don't know how true that is, but you know, that's interesting. And then Dr. Prepper says, you can't stop what's coming. You of all people know that, but please do better to research America and our news. Well, you know, largely I get my information from YouTube. I take very little notice of what is on mainstream media these days, because I know it's state propaganda. It doesn't matter whatever country you're in. And you know, that new artificial intelligence that came out in China, by the way, you would be you would laugh at it, because it is always, as you know, a cheap knockoff that comes from China. It is always just a cheap knockoff. It's not as good, it's not as reliable, it won't last as long. It will do a job for a specific time, but it'll only do it for a specific time. But you know, with that I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head. God, I must be getting old. But it's not up to what it does, because it's all geared to the CCP. So when you ask it questions, it's always going to favour the CCP in some respect. I've looked at lots of people that have been using it, and you know, when you start criticising anything about China, it gets a little bit hoity-toity, and that is no good. You know, the teacher is teaching the student something wrong to start with, and it's not good. You know, if that's what you want to rely on with artificial intelligence, then you're welcome to it. But it's their own, designed for their own artificial intelligence. And that is the comments that we've had for the evening. I thought I'd go over that because I've never done that before. I've never talked about, people's comments and replied to them, but I thought I would. We don't live in a good world. We live in a broken world that has failed to accept that if we want to continue progressing along, a technological course and advancement, then we need to start thinking about the fact that we don't need so much human employment, and yet there is 8 billion people on this planet that need jobs. And the reason why I watch the China Observer is because it gives me a good understanding of what's coming down the road here. I definitely now have caught on and a bit onto the bait of what the China Observer put out, and it is good information, because China is not thriving. China is suffering because of its technological advancement and not acknowledging that it's got a monetary system in place and that the people cannot afford to participate in that system anymore. And that's why they go through bins. That's why they eat people's leftovers. That's why, they buy a property and a year later the property is worth half the value that they paid for it, and they're in debt for the next 10 years. That's the sort of thing that is coming to the West, and it already is for some people. In some cases already happened, but it's coming. That's your crystal ball. If you want to know how things are going to go, just look at the bigger economies, look at the bigger continents in our world that have the biggest populations, and see how they're coping right now, and you'll know that that's what's coming knocking on your door soon. Guys, link down there if you want to help support. As always, bye for now.